fundamental children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war.
Well, I guess we'll see if anyone actually comes to watch the show tonight.
We'll see.
Oh, someone's here.
This is a weird night for us. We might not get the normal guys showing up very much.
Yeah, and it's been what, a week?
Been a week, almost. It's been
Week
2
and
weeks.
a half, 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been a while.
So last week, we're about an hour before going on, about an hour and a half. I had to take my wife to the ER. She's been having some issues with just like random muscle pains in her back, and it affected her ability to swallow. And so we don't know what it was. They had her on some muscle relaxer and stuff, but she's getting better, which is good.
That is good.
But it's one of those things where, you know, especially my wife, because she's a stay-at-home mom, having to deal with the kids all day, right? And they're crazy as they are. And she just doesn't. I don't think she realized. I think at the beginning of it, anyway, I don't think she realized how much that was going to impede her. So I get home and I'm trying to help out as much as I can. You know, by the time I get home, I'm home in time for dinner, hang out with the kids and the family for a while, do our rosary, and they go to bed. But it's yeah, bro. I got this at the Creed concert 2 years ago. It was actually one of the last shows that what's his name from Three Doors Down did before he had to step down because he had cancer, and now, you know, he's passed away. God rest his soul. Yes, they are, Paul. So my wife is a nurse by trade. I put her through school, put her through nursing school when I was in the Marines, and when I got out of the Marines, and then I was a firefighter for a little bit. She was an ER nurse, and I thought we'd always be a dual income household. And it wasn't until my current profession that I was able to get her, you know, bring her home because she wanted to homeschool and all that. But man, it is like when you align yourself with the order that God has laid out for you, the blessings you receive from that and the grace you receive from that, by allowing her to not have to work all day and then come home and work some more. Right. It allows the unity of the house to be much better because, you know, I tell her this all the time. She is the heart of the house. And I need to keep that heart healthy. So I try and take all the other stress and everything off of her that I can, and just let her run the house. And the kids do well, you know, but it is, you know, things get thrown at you at life, and sometimes you have to roll with the punches, and sometimes you gotta step in as dad and use dad voice, and you know how that goes.
Yeah, you had to take your wife to the ER last Monday, and I had to take mine to the ER last Friday.
Yeah, it's been a wild few days, and I feel like so much has happened that I don't even know where we would even start on some of this stuff. I saw that the Senate voted yesterday to not restrict Trump from military action in Cuba.
Which
I mean, that's Monroe Doctrine 2.0.
Right.
So, and then, you know, what else has gone on? We've got the
we have all the ATF rules.
Yeah, that popped out a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
About with things that they're trying to put through. So we'll see if any of that actually happens, because this administration has not been very friendly to gun owners, regardless of what they told us they were going to do while campaigning.
Right.
You know, because the ATF was still going after guys for the pistol brace, even after they lost that case.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, sorry, this is a abnormal night for us. just because this is the only day this week I could do it.
Mhm.
Monday night, we had something going on at church. Tuesday night, y'all have y'all stream, which I finished it today on the way to work. So I listened to it this morning when I'm doing stuff around the farm, and then I finished it on the way to work. I feel like it was shotgunned. It's kind of like all over the place for a while.
It was.
He was trying to keep it on topic for a little bit, but I feel like Anthony has like 1,000 ideas and things going in his head, and he's trying to like collate it to where we can all understand the chaos that's going on in there.
He had just read a book over the weekend, and like I hadn't read it, so I didn't know. Like I couldn't try to focus him because I didn't know what was in the book.
And that's hard to do. And like you push back on it a little bit on him, but I think y'all are talking past each other a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and like you were both getting kind of a little defensive. And I was like, and that's what I was like, man, these guys are tired. They need to go to bed. They're done. They just need to go to bed before this turns into something it shouldn't. But I don't like I've been thinking about what Anthony's been really going on the past little bit. And I think he's starting to evolve into a position to, how to put this? I think he's evolving away from so much that, you know, like the end is near kind of thing. It's more like he's starting to get a little bit more on board with, hey, what happened during COVID was a type of what's to come, which, you know, I think you and I are on the same pages with that. I just think there are some things that have to happen before the Antichrist comes. And not only that, but like he'd have to come out of nowhere because there's nobody on the stage right now that everyone loves.
No.
Right. There's no one even close to that other than Keanu Reeves. Right. But I just don't.
True.
He'd have to come out of nowhere in order to fool everyone. And there's no one out there right now at all. We're way too divided for that in every aspect of life. But I think he's starting to put a coherent theory together. And it's a little rough right now, but I also know there's some hesitancy to take anything that Tychonius says because he was a Donatist, right? Which kind of
he was like a Donatist that was excommunicated by the Donatists.
Right. That's a failure of first principles type of thing. Like if you can't get that right first, like how is that shading everything else, you think?
Yeah.
Right. Especially when it comes to the Pope and things like that, right? The hierarchy. But the other side of it is that Tertullian's considered a church father, and he was a heretic.
He was a heretic. Origin.
Yeah, Origin. So I don't know. Well, I think the best we can do is influence our inner circle, our immediate influence capabilities, our family, our friends that we see regularly, and then out from there, our influential circles go out to like a parish, maybe some people at work, right? But other than that, we cannot get wrapped around the axle on politics too much, because to be honest with you, we can't do anything about it. They, as we found out in 2020, it doesn't matter who votes; it matters who counts the votes, and that can always be done again because nothing has been corrected since 2020. Nothing. So that's a albatross that will always be out there. Never be able to get rid of till we get to such a bad point that people realize voting doesn't do anything, and that's when the strong man runs. Trump's not that strong man. He's shown that. He's compromised, obviously.
100%.
So who's going to be after that? Right? Is it going to be Greg Bovino? Maybe. Could be. I don't know. Maybe. It's not JD Vance. I know that.
Bovino. That sounds Italian. It better not be an Italian.
It probably is. It's probably Sicilian, and that's why it ends with a vowel.
Oh.
Everything I know about Italians, I learned from The Sopranos.
I have never watched the show.
No, man, it is good. It is.
I know everyone is like, it's the best show ever. And, you know, I asked Anthony, like, does it hold up? Like, is it really the best show ever? He goes, it really is. But I can't recommend you watch it at this point.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it by now, don't watch it. You don't want to.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
what I
worth going to
thought.
confession for
Right, exactly.
at all. There's too much. The sex scenes is really what the issue is.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
HBO.
Yeah, I'll tell you another good show is The Shield.
I've never watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
It's a fantastic show, and the end of it is it was a cherry on top how they ended it. But yeah, that's another fantastic show. You know what?
You know what we should do for an episode one time? Guns and movies. Like
Yeah.
what movies get guns right? What
Well,
movies get guns wrong?
Number one we have to watch is Heat.
Yes.
Number two is Way of the Gun. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
That one's a. And then we can watch.
Okay, Paul. Paul's a little excited. 3 separate yeses.
I'm sure Paul will give us some suggestions. We'd have to do it on something else because we couldn't do it on here.
Yeah. Well, for 2 reasons. 1, the guns.
Yeah.
And 2, the copyrights.
Yeah.
So we would do it on like Twitter, and then we would release the recording on YouTube and get past all that stuff.
Yeah. That's how we'd have to do it.
That'd be a fun series to do.
Yeah. And we could watch some did you ever watch Angel Studios does it, which don't shoot me, is and they just came out with a movie about it and they did a series afterwards. And it's about like a collapse.
Not home is it Homelander? No, that's the guy from The Boys.
Homefront?
Homefront.
Is it Homefront?
Yeah.
Well, there was a game back in the day called Homefront. So that's why I didn't want to. Yeah. And of course the white supremacists were the bad guys.
Of course.
The Christian white supremacists were the bad guys.
Have you heard how badly Angel Studios screwed up Animal Farm?
I mean, I just saw the trailer and the trailer didn't look good.
Well, so you know how Animal Farm's all about communism and how bad communism is?
Yeah.
They did that except about capitalism. And why Angel Studios would do that, I
Mormons.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not surprised whatsoever. But
Is this the movie that meme, that woman looking at the computer meme is from?
What do you mean I'm indicted? Yeah.
On Friday, I get to go pick up my P90.
You gonna put an FRT in it?
I can't in Minnesota.
Oh, you can't. You gotta move. You gotta move.
We'll see. Because you're right, I do want an FRT in it. Obviously,
it's worth it. It's worth it. I mean, for an FRT,
and I should it's got the 16-inch barrel. I should put in the short barrel, an SBR the thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It shoots 5.7, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be expensive.
Like a 50 round drum,
50 round mag of 5.7.
Yeah. We had a gun store here. He tried to sell me on a Kel-Tec that shoots 5.7. He's like, all the ranchers love it. I'm like, brother, ain't no rancher shooting anything with a 5.7. Maybe like rats. They're not shooting anything else.
I could see 5.7 out of a 16-inch barrel taking a coyote.
Close enough, maybe.
Yeah.
Like if you're within like 50, 75 yards, maybe.
I don't know. I honestly just got the gun because I'm a big fan of Stargate.
I mean, I get it. But you got to FRT it if you're a real Stargate fan.
Yeah.
You got to.
Maybe the ATF will do something with the FRTs. I don't know.
Maybe. And I keep thinking about getting an FRT. Then I remember I can't afford that much ammo. And maybe if it was like in a 22, I could, right? But I'd blow through 1,000 rounds of 22 in 30 seconds, man. I mean, that's $80.
Because they do make the 22 crank action Gatling gun.
Mm-hmm.
That would
be you just cool. The Taurus 22 pistol and put that FRT. That thing's selling crazy. Like, you can't even find them anywhere because they're selling out so fast.
I was about to say I can't buy Taurus on principle, But then I remember I have a Taurus and 500 Smith & Wesson in the safe, so I can't say that.
You did send me a picture of a judge, though.
I did, because I wanted you to call it gay, and you did.
I sent. I don't know. What do we go with? I don't know. Oh man! All right. What else has happened since we last had a show? I feel like a lot has happened.
Well, the assassination attempt.
I mean, come on.
What?
That might as well have been firecrackers in the lobby.
I know, but we got to see we got to see a Holosun on a Secret Service gun. We got to see an MP7 out of a that justified my backpacks full of PDWs right there.
Do you think that agent with the Holosun on it, that was his personal weapon? Like that's the only thing he could afford?
I mean, I have a hard time believing they couldn't afford more, seeing as the watches we've seen on these guys from that too.
He's probably on like he's probably on like his third marriage. He's got alimony on the other two.
No, it's the picture of the woman holding the gun. That's the
hey. All right, she's probably on her third marriage to a third woman. She's probably got alimony.
You're right. Yeah, hold on, Paul. I'll find you the pic real quick. We'll look at the pic. It was the picture I did of the this one here.
I saw everybody wanting to get the Cry Precision backpack.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was
talk about overpaying for a backpack.
Okay.
Paul, where have you been? You are aware we have a president they keep trying to shoot, right? Like you're at least on that level.
Here we go. Can I make this bigger? That's a Holosun EPS, right? EPS carry.
Yeah. Man, EPS carry is a good. I thought we were talking about like a rifle or something.
No. I agree. I have a couple of them.
Yeah, that's a great optic. Like that for the money. That's bang up. EPS carry is great.
But
I thought we were talking about like a Holosun, like
is the teacup.
The teacup. Look, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she just drew it and she's yelling, so she hasn't quite got her hands together.
Isn't ready to shoot? Yeah.
But look at her. She probably can't shoot anyway.
No,
it's probably not happening. I think the thing that shocked me the most, especially during the Butler one, the Butler attempt, was when the women couldn't get Trump up off the ground. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, if they can't get him up, like, for instance, when I used to work for the fire department, we had a female firefighter. That was, I mean, to be honest with you, she was a good person, right? But a good person doesn't mean you're a good firefighter. But she always told you that she cannot lift you out of a building. But she would blatantly say, if you're in a building and you're about to burn to death, she's like, and I'm there with you, we're just going to lay down and die together. But I was like, I don't know if that's comforting or not.
I really don't want to die next to you. You just leave the building. Just leave me there alone.
Yeah. That's like that. What is that meme? Like if a robber ever comes to my house and shoots me with a torch, judge, just tell them they raped me to death instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing on what was that, Saturday that happened?
Yeah.
I think that some of the security issues there were, one, that guy got a room the day before, and he was seen bringing guns into the hotel. Aren't they in DC? Aren't like guns are illegal in DC?
Was he actually seen bringing them in?
Yes. Yeah, he was seen bringing firearms into the building. And then all he did was Naruto run up there.
Yeah.
Man, so it's almost like they put the most incompetent people around him at the most advantaged times in order to let something happen.
This was so this guy was on the counter assault team. And apparently they have a special Tudor counter assault team unit watch that uncustom is $6,000.
I hope they didn't pay for that. Put that on Klarna.
I wouldn't. PayPal paying for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's more like the watch companies, will give them just to be able to say that
Maybe
so and so wears their watches.
like my community in the Marine Corps, we're trying to get singing watches to make us one. They said they will. So we're just waiting for them to put it out so we can buy it. But it's like $800. I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend $800 on that. Like $800 on a watch. I have kids, right? They're gonna break that. So
yeah,
100%. I can do an $800 watch.
I bought that stupid Wasson watch before it turned out. Before everyone realized he was a big old Zionist. So Maddie decided a week or two ago he wanted to start wearing watches like me. So I'm like, I'll just give him the Wasson watch. It stopped ticking within 30 minutes of giving it to my son.
Yeah. I have an old Seiko watch that my great uncle had. He gave it to me right before he died. And so that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm holding on to it for my son to give to him when he's like 18.
Yep.
To give it to him. But yeah, I mean, like I got my son a Casio G-Shock and he broke that thing in a year.
Oh, Casio, he broke it. Casio G-Shock.
I run over a Casio G-Shock with a Humvee and it did nothing. My son broke his in a year.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is. Never underestimate the boredom of an 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Should we get to the subject or?
What time? We can get to it in a minute. And you know what? We need to play that video I put in the notes. You might have to change
the Owen Benjamin one.
The what?
The Owen Benjamin appendix carry.
We'll get that one afterwards. Let's do the other one.
Which other one? There are links. There are four links for the.
Not the links. It should be an actual video.
Okay.
Posted in it.
The long shots.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. I gotta somehow view this on YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't know how the best way to put that in so we can put it on here.
Bobby sent me that same video too, actually.
Did he?
Yeah.
Look, we at least need a topic to go to when we run through everything else. And plus, I did research. Why would I waste that time that I did on research? I do have to say I'm a little jealous of Anthony that he has time to read books.
Right.
Like every time I try to work gets involved or my kids want to play, and I'm like, well, guess I'm not reading. Checking lamp affiliate codes. Ocean, I have no idea what you're talking about. Is this like a purple drink thing?
How old is this video?
I'm more shocked. That is true. Like he just sits in the truck a lot during the day. Which, I mean, they can't hate on him for it. Chicken lamp affiliate codes. What is a chicken lamp affiliate code? Is that like something new the influencers are trying to peddle? I have no idea what's going on right here.
Chicken lamp, his huevos, his eggs. Here we go. Found it.
Got it.
Forever.
Y'all are going to enjoy this. I sent this to Rob the other day.
This one, right?
Well, that's one of them. Yeah.
I love that.
That camera angle, like I'd be scared to death. I would shoot my camera.
Mm-hmm.
Scared to death. Let's do the theater kid one now.
That's the Owen Benjamin one.
No. It did it not post in there? It's in there in an MPEG. I wonder if I can open this. Oh, this is
In the notes.
yeah, it's in the notes. It's right after the Owen Benjamin. There's an MPEG in there.
No, there's not, man.
It's not showing for you.
No, not at all.
Let me see.
I have the Owen Benjamin one.
Let me send it to you in Telegram.
Okay, yeah,
I'm gonna send it to you in Telegram. Let's see. Here we are. I just saw the one, the Kung Fu one that I had Taffy made for you. That's a classic. All right, it's in there right now.
Okay.
So when I'm in between meetings and stuff, all I do is like I'll finish admin, whatever I'm doing, and then I'll just scroll Instagram for like 10 minutes and just see that. In fact, one of my favorite things to do at night is to lay in bed with my wife and go through Instagram stuff with her, and she realizes like my feed is way different than hers.
I have turned my wife's feed into my feed. From sending her stuff.
No, I've turned your wife's feed into your feed.
No, you've turned my wife's feed into your feed, which is also my feed. Did it send?
It's finishing up. Like it went through like the first half super quick, and then it just like delays the rest of the
We're
time.
just lucky it didn't kill your
That's
internet
true,
feed
'cause I
for
am on
streaming.
Wi-Fi. That is true. There goes. It's in.
There we go.
You got it.
Oh yeah. I remember this one now.
Guys, you know when you've lost the theater kids, it's over. TV.
Though, I mean, Mustache Man kind of was a theater kid.
He was well. He was definitely an artist. Make sure we got sound.
274,600 at most. 274,000, that's all that there was. 274,600 at most. How do you measure a lie? In guilt trips, in money, in diamonds, in news owned by Jews, in records, in trials, in oven heat highs. It's 274,600 at most. How do you measure a humongous lie? How about...
That was good.
That's when I saw it, I was laughing so hard I was crying.
Oh my gosh. Pop poll. Your kid is 18, graduating, screws the pooch on his in-hand excellent opportunity and lies to you about it. What do? Does he get the car to leave the house, pat on the head, and wave goodbye?
Look, so when I turned 18, I was a lazy piece of crap. And my dad had kicked me out. Right. And when my dad kicked me out, I had to go find a job because I had to find somewhere to live. I had a 1990 Geo Metro. I was not living in that thing. Right. It was a roller skate on wheels with a cover on it. That's really all it was. So I had to force myself to go out. And in fact, I got 2 jobs to afford rent. And this was back when rent in a downtown major city was like $600 a month. This was 26 years ago, right? But I'll also tell you that my dad kicking me out and me no longer being under his house improved our relationship immensely, right? But the other thing is, as well, is our kids have to choose their own path because they're responsible for their life.
Yeah.
And all you can do is give them the foundation and the morals, and hopefully you've developed enough prudence in them that they can at least pick the best answer 50% of the time. right? Because life is going to have to teach them the experience of when decisions are bad. And any of us that are older than 30 realize like all the dumb stuff we did between 20 and 30. The stupid. Thank God there was not any camera phones when I was in my teens, because I would be unemployable right now.
I was way more way less controversial as a high schooler than I am now.
I was not. In fact, I only got worse until I got married, and then I started to tone it down. I needed that woman's touch to kind of soften the edges. But yeah, y'all want to know I used to have some horrible, edgy things to say before I got married. Do y'all remember dead baby jokes?
I almost said
I had dozens of them.
Yep.
Dozens, right? That's how horrible of a person I was. I thought that was funny, right? So, the theater kids is a liberal arts major. Yeah. I mean, liberal arts majors are usually theater kids. Yeah. Like if
baby jokes, man, that takes me back.
Yeah. I'm in a position now where I think a good Catholic can't join the military anymore. Not because the situations they're going to put you in, but because of the debauchery that you're just drowning in the entire time you're there. It is hard not to get sucked up in that stuff, even the best kids. And unfortunately, I was responsible for corrupting a few kids when they came in, and I regret that immensely. But yeah, it's a situation where, like, unless you don't have any other choice, and it's really not a good option anymore. All right, we've talked for 30 minutes on a bunch of garbage. So let's get into the topic. So I wanted to bring this up because I had read a book a while ago called The Second After, 1 Second After, by William Fortune. And there was a couple of situations in that book. For those of y'all who haven't read the book, it's about an EMP goes off on the Eastern Seaboard. That's all you know, right? An EMP goes off on the Eastern Seaboard, all electricity's gone. And it's about Asheville, North Carolina, and how they survive it, right, without any electronics or anything. And one of the protagonists in the story eventually comes to a point where there's someone who's looting and robbing in the city. And so they capture him. And then the decision is, well, what do we do? Like, we can't afford the manpower for someone to watch him the whole time.
Yeah.
So then they make the decision. It was like, well, we can't let him keep going around because eventually he's going to hurt somebody. So for the good of the community, and because they couldn't spare the manpower, they had to execute him. Right. So then that made me think, is that right? Like, should we expend the manpower to watch this guy every day till he dies? It's the name of it, 1 Second After, by William Fortune. William Fortune is a professor in North Carolina. He was on the EMP commission with Newt Gingrich, and he's the reason that we've been trying to, well, we'll say not me, but like people in the government have been trying to push to fortify the electrical grid against EMP attacks. But so he's written a few books. He did 1 Second After. I think he did 1 year after, or 1 month after, and then 1 year after, something like that. It's kind of like the 28 days later.
Yeah, right.
Thing, 28 days later, then 28 months later, then 28 years later. But so we get into those conundrums. Like, what do we do? Right? Because if you're having to have men that are constantly on a cycle of watching this one guy, right, that's removing resources for guys to be able to help farm or pull security around other places or whatever.
Right.
And so then it's a moral conundrum. Like, what do we do? Like, is that the right decision? Is that something we can live with as Catholics, right? To be able to make that decision is, or is there a better option? And that was really the impetus for wanting to do, because we made it to a point where the rule of law is sporadically enforced. And what do we do if that happens? If you live out in the country and all you've got is sheriff deputies, and you've got 40 sheriff deputies to cover an entire county, when you call 911, no one's coming.
Right.
So what do we do? Right. So that was really the reason I wanted to do the show, is kind of, I don't have the answers. Right. I want to talk these things through, and so we can kind of start thinking about these things. That way, if it comes up, the first time you think about it isn't when it comes up. Right? You've kind of put some thought into it beforehand of like, what would we do? Or what is the best answer? We have some guidance, right? And we're going to go through some of that tonight and what that guidance is. But sometimes it's going to be in the gray outside of that guidance on the situation. Mm-hmm. So how do we best shape our morals and our thoughts on the best option to do that's for the good of everyone and the good of the people that may be coming against you as well? And sometimes the good of the people coming against you is to execute them, right? That's justice demands it sometimes. Okay. So let's see what we got. I'm gonna go over some of these questions real quick. I mean, you could, like, that's where we get hit eye for an eye, right? We could cut off the hand, right? Or we could do the Inglorious Bastards and put like a T into his forehead, or something, so everybody knows when they see him he's a thief. You do something like that, right? But then he's been ostracized at that point, and now he's much more dangerous because he's got nothing to lose. So can you then still let him go, right? Let's see. What if a guy's pulling security for a neighborhood when they have to judge criminal cases? I mean, at that point, you're at self-defense, right? Like, you just have to do what you do. Let's see. One hand, 1 foot, cut off 2 feet so he can't run. There we go. I'll board that one. Exactly, Ocean. You're just here to rage bait, and I respect that. All right, so the first one, so I'm going to give you all some scenarios first, and then we're going to kind of go through like what the Sumo says. So these were done off the cuff earlier when I was had time to kind of come up with these. I'm going to give you these 3, and then we're going to start going through what the church teaches on this stuff. We'll talk it through. First one is the electrical infrastructure collapses due to attacks on substations that you don't have an ability to repair them. Your family is on the verge of running out of food. You live in a suburb, and most of the families have abandoned their homes. Your neighborhood is about a quarter still occupied, and other families have begun to loot empty homes. You have 2 homes next to you that may not still be occupied, but you do know they had large amounts of food and other staples from their weekly Costco shopping runs prior to the collapse. Right? So that's a situation where you have to determine, is it okay to go over there and take something of someone else's, right? What if they're just out and, scavenging or whatever, right? Is it moral to take what they have, right? So that's the first situation. I'll go through all 3 situations and we'll talk through them. Second one is, after procuring food and other staples from the 2 homes next to you, you have a neighbor from across the neighborhood who you have known for a few years who comes by to tell you that there has been reports of outside people coming into the neighborhood and robbing people of their food. No one has been hurt yet, but they have been armed with a couple firearms and some baseball bats and machetes. A few days later, you're putting the family to bed and you hear some loud crash noises coming from the house next door. You go to the window and look out and see multiple people going in and out of the house with flashlights and weapons, carrying items from the house into a truck parked 4 or 5 houses down. You notice 2 of them, as they come back from the truck, point to your house and start to walk towards your home.
Okay.
Right. And then this last one. It's been a few weeks since you repelled the robbers from the neighborhood. And while you're out and you're scrounging patrols for more supplies, you notice some attempts of destruction have been made against the water tower near your neighborhood. The fence has been broken into, and you see multiple scorch marks and dents in the pillars holding up the water tower. This water tower is providing running water to your neighborhood through gravity. You decided it'll be a good idea to patrol more often by it, to check on it, and make sure no one comes back to destroy it. Right? So then we get into the idea of, is it moral to hurt someone or kill someone who's destroying property? Right? And so we'll get through some of that when we go through the Summa and some other things. So the first one we're going to go with, let's get into stealing. So I'm going to pull it up and I'll share my screen.
Do we want to talk over the situations now and then go?
Yeah, let's talk
go
about
into the principles.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's so the first one, right? Is it moral? Is it licit to raid someone else's home for remaining food that may be there, even if they may still be there and just not home? Right? So what actions do we need to take to make sure that we're not taking from someone who needs it?
Right.
Right. So my opinion, I'll say mine first. Yes. I mean, if your children and your family are on the verge of running out of food and they'll be starving to, because you can go 21 days without food and not before you die. Right.
Right.
But you're going to be miserable within about 4 days.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to have the energy to do a lot, and you may never recover if you don't get a good amount of food back in you. And it may take you days after getting food to recover to a semi-normal state. It takes a little bit. If any of y'all have ever watched Alone, the series on the History Channel, if they don't have protein, they push the button. They're out. Like if they go without a couple of days without protein, they have no energy whatsoever, and they can't continue.
And fats, like even if you have protein, if you don't have fat, your body will still eat itself to, to get that.
Yep. So in that instance, say you've got a couple houses say you're in a cul-de-sac and you've got a couple of houses around you and at least one of them is empty, right? You go to that one first.
Yeah.
You go look, see what they have, right? And you procure whatever, if you decide to stay in your house and you go to that house and you look at what they have. The other one that you may or may not know is empty, you may want to watch it for a few days just to make sure, because they may have been gone for a couple of days to get a family member that was trapped somewhere and they brought them back, right? Because keep in mind, if the electrical grid's up and down, no one's getting fuel because all the gas pumps are run on electricity.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter about payment. Payment doesn't matter, right? You can barter all kinds of stuff if you need to. But if they can't physically pump gas into your car, you're not getting anything. Not only that, but gas goes bad pretty quickly, especially in larger quantities. That's why those tanks are underground, to limit the amount of moisture getting in there, but it'll still go bad eventually. So you really need to make sure that you're not taking from someone who needs it as well, right? But then we also get into the idea of like, should you have enough to be able to give away? Right. And I didn't bring this up in the situations, but if you have the capability to have enough and you have enough to be able to give away to other people, right, that's going to buy you a lot more equity with people to be able to want to work with you, right? But then you also got to be careful about that. You got to be smart as serpents, right? To make sure you're not giving to someone who's then using that to case on you to then come take it themselves, right? So in that instance, stealing's fine because it's not really stealing, right? You're not taking from someone something that they need because they're not there anymore. That's why you want to make sure the other house is empty before you go into it. What are your thoughts, Rob?
Yeah, I agree. I first start with anything you know to be empty. One, it's safer. Right? You're not going to be confronting someone. And two, that you like you said, at that point, you're definitely not taking from someone who needs it. But if you do have to potentially take from a house that was recently occupied or might be occupied again, if your family truly needs whatever you're about to take to survive, it's not theft, because in like situations like this, property reverts back to the common good, right? Because God created everything on earth for everyone, really, right? And like that doesn't mean private property doesn't exist, but the end, the telos of everything of creation is for us to use it as we need it. So in that case, what you're taking isn't theft because because you're presuming that that person would give it to you, and if they didn't, then that's really a sin and crime on their part. If it's something you truly need.
Yeah. Some dogs are delicious.
I was gonna say, were you ever stationed over? You were in Okinawa, right?
Uh-huh.
Do they eat dogs there?
No, Japanese people don't eat dogs.
I know Koreans do.
Yeah, Koreans do. Chinese people do. When you're hungry enough, you'll eat anything. Right. So I tell my kids all the time, because for instance, Monday we went to that thing at church.
Yeah.
And they had dinner for everybody afterwards, and they just had pizza. And so I'm going upstairs to help my kids through the line to make sure they don't grab too much pizza. And my third child decided she got 2 pieces of pizza and dropped it, and went on the ground, and she's felt bad, right? Yeah. But I'm not going to let her eat food that dropped on the ground. So guess who ate it? I had to eat it. That was my pizza now, right? But I can, because I used to eat food in Afghanistan that had moon dust all in it, right? If anything's going to kill me, that was going to kill me, right? So, but you have to. So another story. My oldest, when she was about 2, she would go through phases of where she'd only eat like 1 or 2 foods for like months at a time. Like for a while, it was like hot dogs and string cheese, right? And then it got to the point with my wife where she would just like give her whatever just to get her to eat something. She felt like she's not eating enough, so she would just keep giving her like this smorgasbord of food, right? And I would tell my wife all the time, I was like, look, I need you to leave town for like 3 days. And when you come back, we don't have to worry about her being picky anymore. She would never do it, but it would have worked. It would have worked. It would have worked. Because I've done it with my son. There's been times where like he didn't eat dinner. I was like, all right, you're going to eat it for breakfast. And then it comes breakfast time and he doesn't eat. Okay, you're going to eat it for lunch. Like it's going to be there until you eat it. You might as well go ahead and eat it. Let's see. What else? Bro, you and everybody else is hunting. Right? Like there's going to be no wild game at all anymore if we get to this point.
Depending on where you live, for sure.
Yeah. Like if you're in like North Dakota, you're probably fine. You don't have enough population to fill up a stadium.
Right.
But anywhere on the East Coast, east of the Mississippi, it's all going to be gone. Entire species are going to be wiped out within 6 months because people are eating everything at that point. There's something else I wanted to say about the food thing. What was it? Oh, so yeah, I mean, like in the scenario, you're in a neighborhood where there's still a quarter of the people there.
Yeah.
Right. They're going to go around looking for stuff if they start running out. Right. Because you don't really want to leave the neighborhood because then you're going out into the unknown. You don't know what's going on out there. Right. So that's why it's better to stay where you're at. I'm a bigger fan of bugging in than bugging out. Ideally,
if you did your job of getting to know people and kind of organize before an event like this, then ideally with whoever is remaining in your neighborhood, you can all collaborate, share resources, figure out what you all have already, what you all as a group need, gather from the empty houses what the group as a whole needs, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Don't worry, Ocean. Nobody likes dark beat. You'll have deer in your city yard for about 30 days at most, and it'll be gone. The EMP Commission, when that was done back in the 90s, one of the facets it pulled out was they expect within 6 months 90% of America to be dead.
Yep.
Right, that's not good odds. Right. And that's not all from starvation. Right, that's from looting, robbery, lack of police, presence, all that stuff. Right, so it's not just a matter of like having enough food. It's a matter of, do you have a community that can protect each other?
Also, after an event like this, the predators will be under a lot less human pressure.
Yeah.
And the prey will have that added pressure from natural predators, as well as the added pressure from humans hunting them. So prey species will decrease very quickly. The predator species will take a little bit longer, but eventually once the prey runs out, the predators will starve. Obviously, the human population will die off largely too, to where then it will, there will be an equilibrium, a balance will be reached again at some point. But yeah.
Did you ever see the movie Alive? About like the soccer team that crashed. I think it was called Alive. Soccer team that crashed in a plane on the mountain.
I know of it and I know the story, but I haven't watched the movie.
They got to a point where they didn't have any food and they started having to eat the people that died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the Donner Party.
You know the first thing they went for?
Thighs?
Mm-mm.
What?
The butt. They went straight
that makes
for the
sense.
butt cheeks. I mean, it's going to be the most tender because none of those people are doing squats. You know that. All right. So what about the second scenario? Right. After procuring staples and food, you start hearing people are robbing around the neighborhood, and some starting to come to your house. Right. This is a situation where you're going to have to be willing to hurt someone else to protect yours. Right. Because you cannot let them take what you have, because that means you're absolutely going to die. Them taking your food they might as well shoot you in the head. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to do whatever you need to do mentally to be okay with that. And then afterwards, if that's in what it comes to, and you have to hurt them, you have to be able to move past it. You may need to talk to your spouse or whoever's there about it and just kind of use them as your hip pocket therapy, but you're going to have to do what you have to do to protect your family, because if they take the food from your family, they might as well kill you. All right, and then the last one.
I love that gun as much as the next guy.
Too long,
but come on, it's 2026.
Yeah.
You want? Get a AR chambered in 308, and it's gonna be a fair amount more accurate too.
Yeah. And then the last one, basically, is it moral to kill someone over protecting property? Right. And this one, I was not surprised what the SUMO says about it, but I was a little caught off guard about it. All right. So let's see, the first one we've got. So Article 1, question 66. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, go for it.
Bring it on the screen. There we go. Oh, man, that looks super small. Let's see. All right.
Yeah, you have to do hold control and scroll, and then do the scroll wheel up, and that will zoom in.
No, mine's a plus.
There you go.
All right. So, Article 1, whether it is natural for man to possess external things. Objection 1, it would seem that it is not natural for man to possess external things, for no man should ascribe to himself that which is God's. Now the dominion over all creatures is proper to God, according to Psalm 23:1. The earth is the Lord's, therefore it is not natural for men to possess external things. Objection 2. Further, Basil is expounding the words of the rich. I will gather all things that are grown to me in my goods. Tell me which are thine. Where did you take them from and bring them into being? Now, whatever man possesses naturally, he can fittingly call his own. Therefore, man does not naturally possess external things. Objection 3. Further, according to Ambrose, dominion denotes power, but man has no power over external things since he can work no change in their nature. Therefore, the possession of external things is not natural to man. Right, so we hear this from the Marxists, right? Like, you don't own anything. It belongs to everyone, right? And these all three of the objections are in line with that thinking, right? So St. Thomas answers, external things can be considered in two ways. First, as regards their nature, and this is not subject to the power of man, but only to the power of God, whose mere will all things obey. Secondly, as regards their use, and in this way, man has a natural dominion over external things, because by his reason and will, he is able to use them for his own profit, as they were made on his account. For the imperfect is always for the sake of the perfect, as stated above. It is by this argument that the philosopher proves that the possession of external things is natural to man. Moreover, this natural dominion of man over other creatures, which is competent to man in respect of his reason, wherein God's image resides, is shown forth in man's creation by the words, let us make man to our image and likeness, and let him have dominion over the fishes of the sea. Right? So he's basically, I'm not going to read the other replies to the objections. He's basically saying it is natural for man to possess things because things were made for man. Right? We are to have dominion over them. God gave us the earth to have stewardship over it. Right? Then if y'all aren't aware, this is coming from New Advent. If y'all don't go to New Advent, you're a bad Catholic. You should go to New Advent all the time, especially when it comes to things like the Summa and reading about the Church Fathers. And if you didn't know this, you can buy an offline version of the New Advent. It's like $20. It's amazing to have. So you don't have to have it on a computer all the time and on the internet all the time. But yes, man has a right to property, right? But then the line comes, at which point does it no longer become only his property? Is that what I'm about? Okay. Now we'll get into Article 2. Whether it is lawful for a man to possess a thing as his own. Right? It would seem unlawful for a man to possess a thing as his own, for whatever is contrary to the natural law is unlawful. Now, according to the natural law, all things are common property. The possession of property is contrary to this community of goods. Therefore, it is unlawful for any man to appropriate any external thing to himself. Objection 2. Further, Basil, in expounding the words of the rich man quoted above, says, the rich who deem as their own property the common goods they have seized upon are like to those who, by going beforehand to the play, prevent others from coming and appropriate to themselves what is intended for common use. Now, it would be unlawful to prevent others from obtaining possession of common goods. Therefore, it is unlawful to appropriate to oneself what belongs to the community. And then the third objection, further, Ambrose and his words are quoted in the Decretals. I've never seen that word in my life. Let no man call his own that which is common property. And by common, he means external things, as is clear from the context. Therefore, it seems unlawful for a man to appropriate an external thing to himself. So then he answers, two things are competent to man in respect of exterior things. One is the power to procure and dispense them. And in this regard, it is lawful for man to possess property. Moreover, this is necessary to human life for three reasons. First, because every man is more careful to procure what is for himself alone than that which is common to many or all, since each one would shirk the labor and leave to another that which concerns the community, as happens where there is a great number of servants. Secondly, because human affairs are conducted in more orderly fashion, if each man is charged with taking care of some particular thing himself, whereas there would be confusion if everyone had to look after any one thing indeterminately. Thirdly, because a more peaceful state is ensured to man if each one is contented with his own. Hence, it is to be observed that the quarrels arise more frequently where there is no division of the thing possessed. Right. So I immediately thought of my kids when I read this earlier. Right. So his first objection, the first reason is first because every man is more careful to procure what is for himself alone than that which is common to many or to all. Have y'all ever, for those of y'all have kids, have y'all ever bought something that all your kids share and then see how fast it gets broke? Every time, right? If I give it to one kid and say it's theirs, they take care of it. But if it's for everybody, it gets broken super quick because nobody cares about it, right? And then the second reason, human affairs are conducted in a more orderly fashion if each man is charged with taking care of some particular thing himself, whereas there would be confusion if everyone had to look after any one thing independently. It's the same thing with my kids, man. Like, for example, my son, one of his chores is taking care of the dogs, right? And he has to. We have German Shepherds. They're outside dogs. His job is to water them, feed them, play with them, and all that. Make sure they're out every day. And he does better with that because I've given him responsibility of it. But if I say, hey, someone needs to go take care of the dogs and don't assign someone to do it, everyone looks at everyone else. Well, you do it. I did it last time. I did it earlier. I did it yesterday. Right. And no one wants to take responsibility for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then let's go to Article 4. Whether theft and robbery are sins of different species. Objection 1. It would seem that theft and robbery are not sins of different species, for theft and robbery differ as secret and manifest, because theft is taking something secretly, while robbery is to take something violently and openly. Now, in the other kinds of sins, the secret and manifest do not differ specifically. Therefore, theft and robbery are not different species of sin. Objection 2. Further moral actions take their species from the end, as stated above. Now, theft and robbery are directed to the same end, vis-a-vis the possession of another's property. Therefore, they do not differ specifically. Objection 3. Further, just as a thing is taken by force for the sake of possession, so is a woman taken by force for pleasure. Wherefore, Isidore says that he who commits a rape is called a corrupter, and the victim of the rape is said to be corrupted. Now it is a case of rape whether the woman be carried off publicly or secretly. Therefore, the thing appropriated is said to be taken by force, whether it be done secretly or publicly. Therefore, theft and robbery do not differ. Right? So he answers that theft and robbery are vices contrary to justice, inasmuch as the one man does another an injustice. Now, no man suffers an injustice willingly, as stated in Ethics, verse 9. Wherefore, theft and robbery derive their sinful nature through the taking being involuntary on the part of the person from whom something is taken. Now, the involuntary is twofold, namely, through violence and through ignorance. As stated in Ethics 3. Therefore, the sinful aspect of robbery differs from that of theft. Consequently, they differ specifically. So this goes into that second scenario, right? And the reason I'm bringing this up so y'all are aware of the moral corruption that is involved in these specific sins, and at what point we can resist them, right? Because yet, if you're not aware of the basis that they're coming from, it is harder for you to make prudent decisions on how to react to them. Okay, and then we're going to do the Article 7. This is the last one on stealing. We're going to do. Because we know theft is a moral sin. What is lawful to steal through stress of need? I think this was one we all need to hear because we may need to refer to this in the future sometime. Let me wet my palate here. All right. It would seem unlawful to steal through stress of need, for penance is not imposed except on one who has sinned. Now it is stated, if anyone through stress of hunger or nakedness steal food, clothing, or beast, he shall do penance for 3 weeks. Therefore, it is not lawful to steal through stress of need. Further, the philosopher says that there are some actions whose very name implies wickedness, and among these he reckons theft. Now, that which is wicked in itself may not be done for good end. Therefore, a man cannot lawfully steal in order to remedy a need. Further, a man should love his neighbor as himself. Now, according to Augustine, It is unlawful to steal in order to succor one's neighbor by giving him an alms. Therefore, neither it is lawful to steal in order to remedy one's own needs. All right. He answers that things which are of human right cannot derogate from natural right or divine right. Now, according to the natural order established by divine providence, inferior things are ordained for the purpose of succoring man's needs by their means. Wherefore, the division and appropriation of things which are based on human law do not preclude the fact that man's needs have to be remedied by means of these very things. Hence, whatever certain people have in superabundance is due, by natural law, to the purpose of succoring the poor. For this reason, Ambrose says, and his words are embodied in the Decretals, it is the hungry man's bread that you withhold, the naked man's cloak that you store away. The money that you bury in the earth is the price of the poor man's ransom and freedom. Since, however, there are many who are in need, while it is impossible for all to be succored by the means of the same thing, each one is entrusted with the stewardship of his own things, so that out of them he may come to the aid of those who are in need. Nevertheless, if the need be so manifest and urgent, it is evident that the present need must be remedied by whatever means at hand. For instance, when a person is in some imminent danger and there is no other possible remedy, then it is lawful for a man to succor his own need by means of another's property, by taking it either openly or secretly. Nor is this, properly speaking, theft or robbery. So this gets into the issue of if you have enough to be able to give away, at
You
what
have to.
are you owed to give away? And at what point do you need to stop and it's no longer your responsibility to give away? Right. And it's not like, oh, if you have 100 barrels a week, you have to give away down to 95. Like there's not going to be any black and white on it. Right. You have to make that decision based on what is best for your family and be able to have the opportunity and the ability to give away to people out of what you're able to, right? Because no one, you cannot be expected to give away specifically like food and water that is going to harm your family.
Right.
Right. So for example, with us, I have bags and bags of beans and rice and other things that I have just to give away if I need to. I have what we need for our family, right? And then I have other stuff that I've bought. Like I bought like the $20 50-pound bag of rice, right? It's not non-GMO, it's not organic, right? If you're a beggar, you don't get to choose, right? You know, this isn't Sprouts, this isn't Whole Foods, you don't get to choose, right? You're going to give what I give you. You're going to get what I give you, right? But that's a decision I've made to have that to be able to give away. What if I didn't have that? Then I have to be able to determine what I'm willing to live with to be able to give away that doesn't harm my family. Because then the line of harm comes up. It was like, well, what is actually harming your family? Like you're eating 3 meals a day. You're eating like 3,000 calories a day each. Like you could probably go down to 2,000 calories. You'd be all right. And like you don't have to have 3 meals a day. You can have 2 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
Give away a meal a day, right? But we can't be so used to comfort that we're unwilling to draw back a little bit in order to make sure someone else has what they need as well. What you got on that?
Yeah, I think everyone has to decide for themselves what is truly abundance. What do they have that might go above and beyond what they truly need to survive? Because as St. Thomas says here, at that point, whatever you do have in abundance, you are morally you have to offer to those who need it to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I mean, it's even if you don't get anything, at that point, if someone does truly need it to survive, like if they don't have anything to offer you, you have to give it to them, but you still get something in return in the long run, and that's goodwill. That, and
Yeah.
honestly, in a crap at the fans sort of situation, that sort of goodwill can go a long way.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. That a long time ago, back when Forward Observer was a magazine, before it became what it is today, I wrote an article for Mike Shelby, and it was talking about building social equity with your neighbors, right? Building a relationship and building that community so that when time comes when they need help or you need help, they're much more willing to help you and much less likely to turn you in, right? Because they see you as one of their own. And you see them as one of their own, right? Giving food to somebody who is starving and you being gracious about it is going to endear them to you a whole lot more than, you know, kick them out the door, right? Now they're going to have ill thoughts towards you, and you might be inviting your own demise with that action, right?
plus it can be as simple as, hey, you know, here's food for tonight. You eat this, you pull watch for me tonight, and I'll give you a, you know, and you'll get breakfast too. Then, you know, like you can definitely barter some simple sort of like labor out of the deal.
Yeah. Just make sure if you do that, you have someone else on watch with them that keep an eye on them and they don't rob you while you're asleep.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and that might be a situation where you figure out that they have skills that y'all need.
Yeah.
So then you decide to ask them to stay. Right. Like,
I mean, that's how feudalism started, more or less, back in the day.
Yeah. Like my friends know that if things get bad, like y'all are all welcome to come over here, right? Bring all your food and your firearms and enough clothing to get you through cold seasons. And we'll figure something out. We'll build a bunch of bunk beds if we have to, right? But I would rather y'all be here and helping provide for each other than not, right? So as Christians, we have to be willing to help our neighbor when these things happen. But we also have to be very prudent about that. We don't want to invite someone in that is eventually going to hurt us or hurt the community, right? So you have to be very, your social cues and your instincts of people, you have to listen to it, right? If you've dated horrible women your entire life, if you've never picked up on a red flag, you do not need to be the one making the judgments on that. You need to find someone else who comes from a healthy relationship and let them make those judgments on that.
And this is something, in my opinion, Catholics are historically terrible at. Like,
are you talking about because we're gullible?
Well, there does seem to be either a naive. Catholics do tend to be very naive when it comes to stuff like this. It's the same reason why Catholics tend to be very bad at business, because they're just very naive, gullible. Yeah, look at Pelican Plus. Look at Pelican.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's also specifically Christians in America and in the West, because our community was always homogenous for a long time.
Yeah.
And we had that high trust society. But now we have demographics coming into our communities who do not care about sharing or helping out each other. All they're looking at is what can they take from you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a lesson we're having to learn hard right now. A lot of people in a lot of areas are really having to learn that. Like there's that situation with Nisa going on, which I don't know how y'all didn't pick up that dude's not cutting his hair for a long time. He's obviously still attached to his alternative lifestyle, right? So that's not going anywhere. I don't know how y'all didn't pick up that that's a grift. Bro, you have quite the pool to pick up from.
Yeah, it's true. You got plenty of options. They're all terrible. They're all bad options.
They're horrible. They're horrible. Never date crazy. Okay. I before I met my wife, my picker was horrible. Right. And then my wife, she was like the first person that I really dated that that wasn't crazy. Right. And thankfully, like, she's amazing. Like, I hit the lottery is what happened. I just didn't know it. But before that, man, I dated some crazy women. Crazy, like red flags, like fuchsia flags. Right? It was bad.
That's an inside joke, guys.
But it was so I was not a good judge of character at all. Now I am, right? But it's also because I got some training through the Marine Corps that allows me to tell when people are not being truthful. But but I was in a situation that now
you didn't waterboard your wife, did you?
Look, it's not waterboarding if you use gasoline. Okay. But I'm in a situation now because I've learned through experience how to judge people's character a little bit better. That when I give advice to like younger guys and I see what kind of women they've dated and like, look, you need to stop picking for yourself. You need to find a friend that's in a good relationship and have him pick someone for you.
Yeah.
Because you obviously can't do it. And you don't know that you're picking wrong until it's too late. Right. And she burns your couch and sets it on fire while you're gone. Right. Like you don't need to be dealing with that. And that's a
personal experience there.
Not for me, but I've had a friend. I've had a friend. I had a guy that was on deployment and his wife of like 5 years, when he came home, sold everything he had in the house and sold the house before he got back. He had no idea.
What?
She just ran off with all that money, man.
Like, oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like, it's just, the guys are, some of these guys, and we all, I don't say we all, I don't want to put anybody into a stereotype or anything, but a lot of us have grown up with a consistent environment of trauma. Okay. I was listening to a talk by a former Green Beret earlier, and he was talking about how he doesn't believe that those of us who went to war in the GWAT, we didn't have PTSD, right? Because PTSD insinuates that you had these big events of trauma and you didn't know how to deal with them. But a lot of us that grew up in the 90s and 80s grew up with boomer parents, right? We were latchkey kids. We grew up in an environment of stress every day. So when we didn't have stress, we didn't know how to deal with that, right? It's like alcoholics. If any of y'all have alcoholic parents and, you grew up in a very chaotic lifestyle, when you grew up and you started dating, you were dating people that emulated your alcoholic parents because that's what you thought love was. You thought love was being verbally and emotionally abusive, right? Because that's what you grew up thinking it was, because that's what your parents showed, right? And you were in that environment of stress your entire life. So when you got out to the real world and you met somebody that wasn't like that, right, you didn't know how to deal with it. Because like, what do you mean you're not, cutting me down every chance you get? That's how you tell me you love me. Like, what do you mean? And so a lot of us growing up with all that trauma, we don't know how to pick up on those flags as well as someone who has a better baseline than we do. They grew up in a more healthy, and they can pick out like, that guy's being toxic, right? Or that girl's being toxic, or whatever it is. Or she's obviously very narcissistic, or whatever it is.
The good news is our kids should have a much easier time of it.
Bro, I was talking to my oldest about that. She's 13. And I was telling her, I was like, my goal is that you're less broken than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully your kids are even less broken. And hopefully your grandkids aren't broken at all. Right. And that's, because I grew up, I'm a child of divorce, right? Which is a curse on the family already. But like when I married my wife, I told her, I was like, we're never using that word ever. It's never allowed to be used whatsoever, because this is it forever. Right. So if you don't like me, go take a nap. Right. You'll be fine. And this is the same thing with her towards me. But one thing that really helped us grow in that relationship was when we got married, we moved to Camp Lejeune. We had no family around us. So if we got in a fight, I couldn't run back to my dad's house and she couldn't run back to her mom's house and hear them say, well, he's a horrible person or she's a horrible person, whatever it is, right? Like we had to work it out, and we did. We always had the practice that we never went to bed angry at each other. Even if we had to stay up till 2:00 in the morning to talk it out, right? You did it. You never went to sleep angry at each other. And, we'll be married 18 years in September, right? So hopefully my kids are way less broken than I am. I'm trying to get them there. But I still exude some of my brokenness to them sometimes without even realizing I'm doing it.
Yeah.
She is.
So I had to bring my wife to the ER because she fainted Friday morning before I left for work. Like I'm talking to her, she turns around to go back to bed, and next thing I know, I heard a big thump. She's on the ground. She's not moving. She's not answering. I run to her. She's not. It took about half a minute before she came to. And I'm like, have you been drinking water? Have you been eating food?
Never.
Well, actually, she had. And that's when I'm like, okay.
I believe her. Sure. Yeah.
No, I'm like, okay, well, then I'm bringing you right to the ER. If it's not water, if it's not food, then we need to go get this looked at.
You know what they did in the Marine Corps if you passed out?
Told you to suck it up, walk it off.
Nope. They gave you the silver bullet. They stuck a thermometer about that long up your butt to make sure your internal core temperature wasn't too high. You know how many guys did everything they could not to pass out? I remember I was in the chow line waiting to go in boot camp, and I started, I guess I didn't drink enough water, and I started getting lightheaded, and I started doing the sway, and I told the two guys next to me, hold me up.
Hold me up.
Hold me up until I come back. And they did, man. They put their arms underneath it, and they're holding me up, and I just go, and I wake back up. I'm not getting the silver bullet. That wasn't happening.
What's funny is, so what they think it ended up was just low blood pressure. My wife's always had kind of a low blood pressure.
Yeah.
And it was like the first night in a long time actually, where all three of our older kids stayed over at my mom's. So she had 12 hours of no stress, no kids screaming, no kids yelling, no kids running. I'm like, you got to relax, hon. You need at least one of those three screaming kids around you at all times to make sure your blood pressure's up.
Yep, bro. She needs nicotine is what she needs. Give her some.
Steven's right. This would have solved that problem.
Hey, you know what? Chuck Norris once told a woman to calm down, and she did. Do you remember all the old Chuck Norris jokes? Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups; he does earth downs.
He told her that she was acting like her mother, and she agreed. Oh my gosh!
God bless his soul, man. God bless his soul. All right, let's get into self-defense. Let me share this. I've already got it pulled up. I'm ready to go. Ain't no Anthony's on this stream. All right.
And you're not just doing the stream of consciousness, just off the top of your head.
Look, I'm gonna give it to Anthony. Right? He can just go and go and go and go. I need to be much more structured, because if I go like that, within 15 minutes, we'll be talking about killer clowns from Mars. Right? The autism will kick in, or whatever I got. Maybe it's not autism, maybe it's just retardation. I don't know. But I will be on some wild tangent that we're nowhere near the subject anymore. At least he can stay mostly on topic. If I don't structure it, we're way off in the hinterlands. So God bless him. He's got that ability to do that. All right. So ethically, the subject of self-defense regards the right of a private person to employ force against anyone who unjustly attacks his life or person, his property, or a good name. Man, could you imagine beating somebody up just because, they insulted you? If only we could get back to that. While differing among themselves on some of the more subtle and less practical points comprising this topic, our moralists may be said to be unanimous on the main principles in their application regarding the right of self-defense. All right, so defense of property gets into honor and stuff. So I'm not going to go over this one. This is pretty self-explanatory. You know, we've talked about this before in one of our first shows. If your retardism, if you feel you're threatened, if you feel your family's threatened, if you feel an innocent person is threatened, and even if you feel like property that you absolutely need is threatened, you are allowed to defend it, even up to death.
Yeah.
Their death, not yours. I mean, you can do up to your death too, but I would prefer the other guy die instead of I do. Right? Who was it? Patton said, war is not about dying for your country, it's about making the poor sucker die for his.
You know what else Batson said?
We fought on the wrong side of the war. And then 30 days later, he was dead.
Weird car accident, man.
Weird, man. Super weird. So now I'll put a bunch of this in the Telegram chat for y'all, all these links if y'all want to look at it. But self-defense, I don't think we need to go over too much. I do want to go over the unjust aggressor. This one I thought was very interesting. So let me remove this and get rid of that. And share screen. Here we go. All right. The unjust aggressor. According to the accepted teaching of theologians, it is lawful in the defense of life or limb or of property of some importance and of chastity to repel violence with violence, and even to the extent of killing an unjust assailant. This is admitted to be true with the reservation included in the phrase servato moderum inculpate rutile. Y'all didn't know I could read Latin. That is, only that degree of violence may be employed which is necessary to adequately to protect one from the attack. For example, if there were enough in the circumstances to maim an enemy, it would be unlawful to kill him. It is likewise lawful to aid another to the same extent and within the same limits as a permissible for self-defense.
In other words, if a guy is about to rape someone, cutting off his Johnson is enough. You don't have to go further than that.
Hey, Lorena Bobbitt did nothing wrong. that might be too old for some of y'all. Y'all should look up Lorena Bobbitt. Bobbitt. Bobbitt.
But don't do the image search.
Yeah, do not do image search.
No.
What was his name?
John
Wayne Bobbitt. Wasn't he like a two first namer guy?
Lorena Bobbitt.
John Bobbitt. I knew it was John. Yeah, John Wayne Bobbitt. Man.
John Wayne Bobbitt. Good.
I still got it. You never trust a man with two first names.
That is one letter away from the town I live in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can never trust a man with two first names.
What about
John
three?
Casey? Nope.
Three first names, and they're a presidential assassin.
Yep. John Wilkes Booth. That's not really two first names, though. But you always know his middle name.
Lee Harvey Oswald. That's three.
Yep. Two first names.
What?
Two first names. Lee Harvey. Oh. Two first names.
Oswald is a first name too.
Oh, that is true. Three first names.
Three first names. Who else? Who was the Reagan guy that was just in the news talking about the new one? Gotta Google this. Reagan.
Do you remember The Onion?
Kind of.
Back when it was funny.
John Hinckley. So not really
So before The Onion, there was a publication called News of the Weird. Right?
News of the Weird, huh?
And they always had just like weird stories across the nation in it. But they always had their criminals of the week. Right? And the amount of times the middle name Wayne come up would shock you. For whatever reason it is, men with the middle name of Wayne love crime. You know what the sad part is?
Oh, what's your middle name?
My dad's middle name was Wayne. So maybe he had like a third family or something I didn't know about. And
my dad's middle name was Homer.
But he pronounced it Homer. Homer.
No, we're English, not French.
And we got one on lying too. I'm not gonna get into lying, just because
Lying is that would be the hardest one to really be moral with during.
you really have to do it by not answering the question, right?
Or answering it in the most vague way imaginable.
Right? You know, like they come, like the example is always, what if the Nazis come to your door and they're looking for the Jews? First of all, they're not looking for the Jews. We all know that. But second of all,
If they are, they're upstairs in the attic.
yeah, they're upstairs. Her name, she's got a
her name is Anne.
that hasn't been invented yet.
Her name's Anne. Yeah, she's got a weird pen with her, man.
She's the inventor of the ballpoint pen. 10 years early. But it's one of those things like, you know, do you have any Jews in your house? I've got some cake. Would you like to come in for some cake? You know, bring them in for some cake.
Or I don't have any Jews to give you, or I don't have any Jews to show you.
Yeah. You know, you just got to be super vague about it. If anybody's read Robert Jordan's books, The Wheel of Time. It's a fantasy novel series.
I know Amazon made a series about it, but I don't know.
It's stupid gay.
Is the book are the books good?
Books are great. There's 12 or 13 books, right? But there's like one of them that's not really that good. The rest of them are pretty good.
Okay.
But the premise is there's this. Give me 30 seconds to get to this, and we'll get to it. The world broke because a man broke it using technology. When he broke it, women then took control of the world. Okay.
Makes sense.
They're not really sorcerers or anything. They don't really do magic. Anyway, but one of the things they do is they have to swear on a rod that they can't lie. And that when they do that, it makes them unable to lie. They cannot lie at all. So they deal in vagueness all the time. Right. So they'll dance around it, but never answer your question.
No way. A woman
weird, huh?
who only answers in vague sayings and never actually answers the question. That's impossible, Adrian. There's no way that has never happened in the history of the world.
It's unbelievable. In fact, it's so far-fetched. We can't believe it. So,
hey, honey, where do you want to go to eat? Oh, I don't know. Whatever you want.
That's why I always thought it'd be a great idea to name a restaurant. I don't know, wherever you want. And then on the menu has to be, I'm not really hungry. And it's like a side of fries and like a couple of cheese sticks. So I'll bring that up because that's basically what we have to do. You know, you cannot lie.
You can't say a lie.
No, you cannot say a lie. Like, I know we would love to. I know you feel like, oh, it's, we're doing something a greater good. That doesn't fly. You cannot sin to cause a greater good.
Yeah.
Right. We don't go by the ends justify the means. Right. So, but you have to be able to get good at talking around it to where they think that you answered their question, but you didn't lie. Right. So for those of you that ever want to take a polygraph, if you get really good at this right now, you'll pass that polygraph. Okay, just to let you know.
It's like how in college I wanted to get really good at taking breathalyzer, so I got a breathalyzer. Didn't work like I expected.
It really just became a competition. Like, who can blow the highest?
Who can blow the highest without passing out? Let's go.
When I was in a firefighter in Atlanta, we had some guys that moonlighted on their off days. They worked at these these mobile clinics that would just give people IVs, and they would set up shop outside of like all the bars and everything.
Genius.
So they would just hit them with a bunch of like what we call a banana bag. It's just electrolytes pretty much, and just hit them with an IV so that way they don't get a hangover and they're not as drunk the next day. But man, it was like $500 a pop, but people did it all the time.
There are a couple of days in my life I would have paid $500 for that, but only a couple.
Now it's just if I'm drinking at night, like I'm having a little bit of bourbon tonight. I don't need it tonight. I'm not drinking enough. But if I'm in a position where I know I might be out with some friends or whatever, or might have friends over and we're going to drink a little bit, I drink Pedialyte if we have it. Otherwise, I'm drinking Gatorade and Motrin.
And Motrin.
I'll worry about it the next day. I'll be good. Because, man, I'm 5. I'm a lightweight, dude. I never drink. I pretty much don't drink, but I'm on here.
Yeah, I've had a bottle of bourbon. I'm halfway through a bottle of bourbon I opened 2 months ago.
I've got so much Woodford Reserve up in my liquor cabinet that I'll never drink it all. In fact, I just finished off a 1,750 milliliter bottle I got when I was in Minnesota 4 years ago. I went to I think we went to Costco, and y'all's liquor is cheap up there. It's ridiculous. I think I got it for like $40. Down here, that's like $120 bottle.
What?
Yeah. Well,
just a 750 of Woodford?
No, it was 1,750 of Woodford.
What do you mean?
It was like $40. 1,750 milliliters of Woodford.
Oh, that's a huge bottle.
It was a huge. I got it for like $40 up there. Right. The problem is down here in Alabama, we have alcohol beverage control. Like it's a government organization, and you can only buy alcohol through them. So they buy it wholesale, then sell it to you for a profit, and then you sell it even higher than that. So we don't have cheap alcohol down here whatsoever.
All the hard liquor is you basically buy through the state?
Pretty much.
Mm.
I mean, you can buy it. We do have liquor stores, but they have to buy it through the state.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
It's stupid. Man, that we do have some
which
runners.
is legal now, by the way.
Yeah. But not near as much as what we had in Kentucky. Kentucky, we had way more moonshiners, way more runners running around than we do at Alabama.
I don't know why, but like I'll go into a liquor store to get like a bottle of wine, and I'll go to the bourbon section, or scotch or whatever, and I'll find it. And I'm like, well, that's a really nice bottle I haven't tried. I'll buy it. I'll get home and realize that if I drink one bottle every 3 months, but I'm buying one bottle a month just because it's new and looks cool and that I want to try it, that, hey, I have way too much. I don't need it all.
That means you need more friends to come over and help you drink it.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah, that's true. But
or you're personally going to stock the bar at the conference y'all are doing.
Or I save it for the end of the world and barter with it.
That's true too. Just don't mix it with chocolate milk.
Oh, man.
Stay away from that. That's not a good idea.
No.
I've seen in person. You and I both have.
That was definitely like watching a slow motion train wreck. We all knew how it was ending.
That dude was wobbling so bad. And then he went in the bathroom and threw up. I think Bobby cleaned it up.
I think Bobby helped. Yeah. It was hilarious. With Anthony Anthony doxed Bobby last night.
I heard it.
It took me a couple minutes. Like, I'm not sure what he just said or why he just said that. And then
yep, I heard it, and I was like, well, hopefully he edits that out.
I did this morning. Yeah.
Good. I would not barter firearms. Or, I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even barter ammunition. I never want to give somebody the means to be able to use that to take what I have. Right. So if they don't have firearms, they were not smart enough to have them in the first place, which means they're desperate now. And now they're going to use it to rob you. What ammo is the bottle caps of SHTF? 5.56 and 9mm. What if ammo is the bottle caps if it shit hits the fan?
Yeah.
Well, what ammo would it be? It'd be 5.56 and 9mm.
For sure. Yeah.
And
Well,
maybe
22 maybe.
and maybe some shotgun slug. It's like double out
Yeah, yeah.
12 gauge. Yeah, absolutely. So let's do the Owen Benjamin clip real quick. We'll talk about that. Then we'll be done. Y'all get a late stream tonight.
Yeah. So my boys have T-ball on Monday and Wednesdays from 6:30 Central to 7:30 Central. So either we're going to have to do late streams like this until July or do them on Friday nights.
Yep. And to be honest with you, Friday nights aren't an issue with me because I'm a dad. I don't go out on Friday nights. This Friday night I couldn't know. That's why we had to do it tonight. I have to go out of town this weekend. I have to go down to Lower Alabama, LA, for those of you who are local, and I got a work conference I got to do this weekend. So otherwise, Fridays would be fine. We might need to do Fridays during the summer while y'all are in T-ball.
As long as I'm not traveling that weekend. Yeah, I'm fine with Fridays.
And because my son's baseball practices on Tuesday and games are on Saturdays, so it wouldn't affect us whatsoever.
I think I'm into the chest carry. I like having I think the chest is where the gun should be. It's called a gunslinger carry, because the appendix carry, there's no fucking chance I'm pointing a gun at penis. I think anyone that does appendix carry is trans. Okay, and I'll make that statement right now. You're a trans. If you do if you can spend all day with a gun pointed at your dick and balls, don't you know the internal locking mechanism? No. It's emotional. It's just something. It means you don't value your dick and you want it to be blown off your body.
That true, Adrian?
I had no idea I was trans.
Do you not value your manhood?
I guess not. I'm glad we had this intervention and someone could really correct me on my wicked ways.
Yeah, he definitely does.
So if y'all don't know who Owen Benjamin is, he used to be a comedian. And he got basically canceled.
And then he got not funny.
Do what?
So then he got not funny. He stopped.
Yeah, now he's like a flat earther and he denies the Holy Spirit. And like he's like all off the reservation. But I thought I mean, to be honest with you, if you carry a P320 appendix, you probably are trans. Right?
Or you're about to be.
You're a post-op trans, or you're about to be a post-op trans. So I agree with that. But I just think that it's funny that he thinks the chest carry is like the optimum way to carry. Like, how are you going to conceal the carry that, my friend?
Yeah.
You have to like.
I like when I go hunting, I often, will carry
that
a
makes
chest
sense.
rig, but it's not any quicker. As a matter of fact, the way you often have to, especially when you're hunting, like you have backpack straps and it's not any faster, but especially because like when I'm out in the woods, I'm usually carrying like a larger revolver, usually. So that makes more sense than having a flipping 7-inch long, revolver on my hip or something. But it's just not ideal.
7 inches, like 7 inches, just a little bit bigger than 6 inches.
Did you see that? I think it was probably an Instagram reel where the guy's like, "Can you give me that 6-inch revolver?" And he pulls out the snub, gives him the snub nose. He goes, "That's not 6 inches." And he looks at it and he's like, "Oh no."
There's another one where there's like a Japanese couple or something, or a Chinese couple, and he's at the sink like doing dishes, and she comes up behind him. She's like, "Where did this scratch come from?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "This scratch on the back of your arm, like it's really big." And he's like, "I don't know." She's like, "It's a really big scratch." And he looks at it. He's like, "It's not that big." And she goes, "That's really big. It's a really big scratch." He's like, "It is really big. That's a huge scratch." So for those of you that have a gut and you can't appendix carry, that apparently means you are incapable of being trans.
Works for me.
I don't make the rules. I don't. So congratulations. How do I carry for a ruck march? I don't carry it. You can carry something else, but I wouldn't carry a rifle. I mean, down here in Alabama, I'd be fine, but like I wouldn't. I would just carry something else that weighs about 7 pounds and carry that instead. You know, you could just get a piece of wood,
Piece of steel.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, whatever.
Carry that just so you can mimic the weight. But last thing I want is to encourage any of you to be ruck marching with a rifle, and all of a sudden we see on the news, local man arrested for terroristic threatening outside of a rebuilt Toys R Us.
I mean, up where I'm at, like there's plenty of roads and woods you could march through without ever seeing anyone. So,
and like down here, it wouldn't be unheard of. But I live in the country in Alabama, you know, so we're much more of a gun culture down here than, you know, the suburbs of, you know, Atlanta.
mm-hmm.
So it's just but I wouldn't buy, even here. I wouldn't do it just because I don't want to deal with the hassle. Because you've got yuppies moving in everywhere, and you don't want to deal with the woman who just moved down from Chicago who flips out because she sees you carrying your 1022 with you that you're just out like shooting squirrels with, right? Like just don't even highlight yourself. Just carry something that's equivalent weight, that's about the same length. Get it like a piece of steel bar or something, and carry that instead.
Yeah.
Or you can get a rubber rifle and put an orange tip on it so everybody knows it's not real.
Or airsoft.
Just make sure you put the orange tip on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or paint an orange tip. No, never mind. Don't do that.
We don't have any BLM land down here. We've got national parks, but that's about it. It's not BLM land though. Like I'm not too far away from Talladega National Forest.
East of the Mississippi, there's very little
we got
federal land.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Who we got? Anybody? Hopefully this was good for some of y'all. Just kind of go. And like I said, I'll post these links in the Telegram chat. And what we're going to do is we're going to extend the competition for next month from this month.
Yes.
Apparently my post never went through on Telegram for this month's competition.
Why do you think I was asking you what it was?
I thought it was weird because I thought I posted it in the Telegram, but it's like still says sending on it. Like even like I'm sending stuff after it.
No wonder why no one responded to my video about it, and because no one knew what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, so we're gonna extend it for this month.
That's the month before. Kobe was the month before.
So look, I don't need y'all nagging me every 6 months. Okay, did you send out the first prize yet?
No, the one you sent me a week ago.
It's going to you, Joe. So I got to do the last two prizes, but this month's he was showing off.
Not really. I did terrible.
Weren't you out there with staccato?
So the first one I did my Shadow 2 carry, and I did not do well. So then I pulled out my my Kimber 2K11 Pro, and it did a lot better with that.
Look, just so y'all know, y'all need more. So Avoiding Babylon needs more local subscribers, so Rob can buy more guns.
Yes, please.
Y'all are really just funding his armory. That's really all.
It really is all it is. Actually, my gun budget had to decrease a lot now that we have our first car payment in the last 4 years.
Oh, yeah,
again.
That'll do it. Yeah. So this the competition this month, for those of you that are in the Telegram, get in the Telegram.
I'm getting the link right now to whoever needs it.
He'll post a link. We have a lot of good men in there that are giving us good information. We used to have a female in there, but I haven't seen her in forever, so she may have self-deleted out of there.
Out of the Telegram.
Out of the Telegram, not out of life. But this month's drill going into next month will be the same drill. We're doing the Dickens drill. If y'all don't know what the Dickens drill is, look it up and find out who Dickens is. Right,
Eli
but we'll post
Dickens.
the particulars in the group. Basically, it's 10 shots.
10 shots in
For 40
15
yards.
seconds from 40 yards to get
Yep.
8 hits on target
8 hits on target.
on a
Y'all don't know
man-sized
who
target.
Elijah Dickens is, who it's named after. 4 years ago or so, there was a shooter in a mall, and he nailed a dude with his Glock 19 or whatever it was from 40 yards away, hit him 8 out of 10 times.
What's the 40? What's the 40 cal version of the 19? Is that the 22?
The 23.
23,
Well,
I
the
think.
22 is the long. Well, yeah, the 22 is a longer version. It's
Okay.
like the 5-inch barrel.
I think you
The
did it with
23
I think you did it with the 40 cal Glock.
That's even more impressive because the 40's got a lot more kick.
Yeah. Yes, at 40 yards.
At 40 yards, yes. Shooting a man, so like an IDPA, IPSC target, right? So like a torso target at 40 yards, 8 out of 10 shots have to hit on.
Look at the video posted, not a live stream. It's a video that I posted on this channel of myself doing the competition. You'll see how terrible I was at first.
It's a fun drill.
It was fun.
Yeah. So-
Ideally, you would have a shot timer for it. Ideally,
You can get shot timers on your phone.
yeah.
If you don't want to buy one, they work pretty well. They don't work well with suppressors. I mean, my shot timer doesn't work well. That my pack timer I have doesn't work well with a suppressor. It just doesn't pick it up. But the ones on your phone work well enough, and they're, I think most of them are free. So get one of those. Yeah, I mean, it's a random pick. It's not going to be who does it best. It's going to be a random pick. So that way everyone participates. So I'll have one of my kids pick a name out of the hat, and that's who wins that month. So that we'll extend that into this month, going into May, and then June, because during the summer months I want to do more shooting. When
Yeah,
it's warm
agreed.
outside, right? When it gets cold, we'll do other things like get home bags, starting a fire, stuff like that for y'all to build some skills that way. I want to do a 1 month towards the end of the year. I want to do a competition of building an at-home water filtration system, so everybody knows how to do that, right?
Oh,
And
my
I
kids will love that.
and I might bump up the price. I'll find something in here that I can give away. Maybe I'll give y'all like a radio or something, or something else.
The answer to this is yes. You do get drip points if you do that.
Yes,
100%.
yes, you do. Absolutely.
Who won the go bag?
Who won that? I've got it written down inside.
Because I need to send them a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got. I think Gunner won the other one as well.
Joe and Gunner?
Yeah, Gunner Freeman, whatever his name is.
Yep.
Yep.
Can we do a pride theme? Yeah, we'll I don't know. We'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out for that.
We'll probably all
Maybe,
get.
maybe it'll be like Sodom and Gomorrah themed, where you have to like blow up some tannerite or something. Just in time.
What we'll do is
Well,
we'll do like a hostage rescue drill, and we'll put the hostage taker will rainbow painted for be a trans person, and then the that's when you got to shoot.
the hostage itself.
No, the hostage taker.
No. You make the hostage the pride person, and they can't shoot the hostage taker. And you get extra entry points if you put like a pride T-shirt on the target.
And you get more if you use incendiary ammo to start that T-shirt on fire.
Yeah,
We are all gonna get doxxed and banned and canceled.
Yeah. The Zionists are coming for us, brothers. We don't have to worry about the SPLC anymore, but still got the ADL.
Yeah.
All All right. I don't think I have anything else. I think that's it. We went through all my notes, went through all my videos.
I'm glad we're extending that competition because I wanted to do more of it and get better at it. But the weather took a turn for the cold like 2 days after I did it last. So it's snow today.
We've had a bunch of rain down here this week, which has been good. Because that's how I know I'm an old man, because I'm like, oh, we needed this.
We needed the rain.
We needed this rain.
Even though my bones felt it coming.
Yeah, I could feel it in my knees. Like, you know, it's bad. Like, you need some rain when you walk out in your grass and your grass is crunching.
For us, that was just because of the frost.
Yeah, never. For us, it's because it's super dry. Top 10 Creed songs. I don't even know if I have top 10 Creed songs. I don't know. I'll post it on the Telegram. But I will tell you, Three Doors Down was a better show than Creed. Way better. Actually, I just bought tickets to go see Breaking Benjamin in October.
Nice.
It's gonna be real good.
Their song on the Halo was it the Halo 2 or Halo 3 soundtrack was bomb back in the day.
You know, have you heard the song with Papa Roach and Carrie Underwood?
Probably.
Like the Let the Light something. Let the light something. So it's so Papa Roach apparently has come to Jesus, right? He's a Christian now.
Leave a light on.
Leave a light on is what it is. But it's a song about suicide, like not taking your life, basically. Which is
is it a newer
completely
song?
opposite of cut my life into pieces. But,
Yeah.
he's 180 now. But when I'm in the car with the kids, I like to introduce them to new music. Like, so my wife introduces them to her music, right? So then they come in, they're listening to a lot of Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Audio Slave, whatever, right? And so I had a daddy-daughter date with my oldest on Saturday, and I let her listen to some of this stuff, and I didn't think she'd like that at all. She loved it. So I had to, when I got home, I had to buy it, put it on her little makeshift iPod we did for her. Have you heard of that girl Mafra? Maphra. You should look her up on YouTube when you get a chance. She does covers of other songs, but her voice is insane. It's crazy.
Mafra.
So when you get a chance, you should listen to her song. She did a cover of Doomed. It's a cover of some band in the UK I've never heard of, but it's really good. That's true. That's true.
We got the opposite problem right now. Our rivers are really high.
Oh, really? So we have the Coosa River coming through by me, and it goes into a lake right here, and it's got a dam, and they're just letting the dam go right now because we've got so much rain coming in the last few days. They got the thing wide open, which isn't normal because usually by now it's starting to get hot and like we're starting not having as much rain, but this year we've got so much, so it's kind of caused some issues with drainage around in areas. So one time I was having to go through an area and the road was flooded. But thankfully I was in my farm truck, so I could just drive through it and wasn't an issue. But a guy was coming through and his Tesla got stuck. And I was like, dude, you need to get out of that thing. Like that thing can't
going to start fire.
Yeah, like that thing won't catch on fire. You got to get out of it.
Do you not know what lithium does in water?
Yeah. All right. We are going to call it, and we will see y'all next week. Y'all get in the Telegram and go look at the competition, and I'll put in there as soon as I get inside to look who won the get home bag one. I have a feeling it was our friendly neighborhood autist.
Billy.
I have a feeling it was, if I remember correctly. That was like a month ago. So I'll look at it. But y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all next time.
Oh, hold on. I got to choose the right outro. It's been a while since
the best outro ever.
I know it's been a while.
Many men wish death upon me. Blood in my eye, dog, and I can't see. I'm trying